Hello everybody, George Kenner. It doesn't seem possible that I've had my Aeon Mira 7 Pro for 6 months, but I have. Someone in my Facebook group asked me to do a review on the laser after 6 months, so this is what I'm going to do. If you are interested in following me on a more regular basis, go into Laser Freedom. We encourage everybody to come in and join the Facebook group, and you can post anything you want. If you have a dissenting view on quality, the manufacturer, anything, you're open and free to say whatever you want to there. It's a First Amendment right, in my opinion. So, what do I like most about this was the most important question. And what I'm going to say is, I, in my opinion, purchased the best laser when it comes to head size. Now, we're going to limit that to head size for just this minute. Now, what does head size mean? Now, some manufacturers will have an over-the-top rail system. Aeon and Trotec and Epilog have a belt drive system with a very small head. Now, I recently went back to Florida, and I'll put a link to this review where I compared it against another large head rail system. This machine beat it by a third. So from a business perspective, you're going to sit around a lot less time when this is doing the job where you can do something else or complete your job more quickly. So from a cost efficiency basis, this is the way to go. Now, when I did all of my evaluations, and there is a full YouTube channel clip where all of these are assembled, and you can literally watch it from the time that I started to buy and what my motivation was up until today. I'll put a link to that down in the comments. There was some discussion about which was the better head rail system. And one of the competitors was saying that, the larger rail head system, of course they were selling that one, was the best way to go. Well, guess what? That company is now offering a system very similar to this. So what I would ask the gentleman would be, why are you manufacturing a small railhead system like the higher end machines? Now, this machine was very much in par and comparable in price to the machine with the upper railhead system. So if you're looking at purchasing one of these machines and somebody's trying to sell you the larger railhead system, ask them, do you also sell the smaller? And if so, why? There's a lot of advertising in this industry that you really got to look past. There are some puffery and some claims that I don't really quite agree with. That's the number one reason I'm happy I bought this. Number two reason, customer service. Now, I've had a lot of contact. Well, that's actually a lie. I've only had to contact customer service one time, and that was on the rotary setup for this device. I've had absolutely no problem. At 6 months, they recommend that you change the coolant that is in the chiller for this machine. So I did that. I did it live on Facebook so everybody could see it. It took about... There's a little drain tube. It's not really a tube, it's just a little drain. 7 minutes to do it. It's very easy. In fact, it's so simplistic, you could turn it over to a teenager to do very easily. One of the things that I don't like about the machine, it comes with a roller system, and the roller system is a little bit limited. It'll only effectively do a cylindrical piece. Now, all of the other manufacturers, I've heard several manufacturers make fun of this type of roller system. Well, the reality is I didn't pay for it. It came with it. When I started to engrave glass, I bought some glasses that were more cylindrical so that I could try it out. Then, because I'm cheap, I started to look for a way to modify that system. And I realized the quality of the cylindrical rotary system is fine, but to really do what I wanted to do, you were going to have to buy the more expensive, and I'm not going to mention their names, more expensive rotary system. So what I did was I came up with a workaround for that, and that's going to be in one of my next videos. One of the other things that I'm going to cover is I went over to Arizona, and everybody knows that I do some woodwork. I make some of the items that I give away as gifts and then apply to the laser, which was my motivation to buy this. And what I did was I went over to Arizona. I saw a piece of wood that I'm going to turn into a tabletop. So my garage is going to get filled with that. It's 10 feet long. I got to go get a U-Haul truck. There's going to be more on that in the very near future. So what materials have I really cut on this? I haven't got to engraving any metal or any anodized material, cups, anything like that. It's just not anything that interests me. I have cut some acrylic, and that's going to be featured in one of my next videos. This thing will cut 3/8 inch acrylic like you cannot believe. All the wood products, I'm going to say that the industry talks about how thick a piece of plywood their machine will cut through. And what I want to say is kind of make a disclaimer. If it's good plywood, if you've got plywood that has a whole lot of glue, I don't know what some of these plywoods are glued together with, but I don't think a bullet would go through some of this stuff. And if that happens, you're probably going to have to, go around the material and recut it one more time, make multiple passes with your laser, or it may just fail. And I've had some that just flat failed. It wouldn't cut out. I've also cut into plywood that has voids. So when you're calculating the price of something, you may want to take that into consideration because your plywood cut on this may not come out. And more times than not, I've seen that ignored by most people. But when you really start talking to the crafters, they go, yeah, I got bad plywood. So just be aware of that. One of the other functions that I don't really like, and this is a light burn driven machine, is I have to change between the rotary settings and the flat table settings. I wish that could be overcome, but that has nothing to do with this machine. It's just one of those things that I wasn't anticipating, and it is a point of frustration. Totally awesome cleaner. This is recommended. It's very inexpensive. I pick it up at, I think, the Dollar Tree store. It will clean all of the surfaces, and I keep my machine immaculate. I haven't done the interior honeycomb. That's really pretty much it. I love my machine. There's not much more to say. If you have any questions specific to this machine or laser engraving in total, like you want to see some of the other things that I have done, just send me an email. I put my email address down in the description, and I'd be happy to share with you. I want to encourage everybody to do this. When you see what I did with this acrylic, what it is it's the thought process that went into it. It's that you've got a machine here that I wanted to make this thing out of metal, but to make the prototype, I made it out of acrylic. I could do something with it. There's so many utilizations to a machine like this. Everything from, I've seen people cut chocolate on these, although I wouldn't do food and other materials at the same time. There's so many things. I was talking to somebody at customer service down in Florida at Aeon, and I asked him, I said, if you could do anything with one of the machines, what would you do? He said he wanted to cut denim to make jeans. Very interesting. When you really think about the applications for this, it's something that if you get it, I made the product, I made the box for the product. There's so much you can do. And when I found a solution to make this machine work even better, using the machine to make the parts to do it, that's pretty phenomenal. George Kenner, I wish you guys the best. Go do something. Get away from the TV. Have a good day. Thank you.